Let's watch the credits roll. I really enjoyed this game in making this Let's Play series. I wouldn't say it's the best of all time, let alone in the series, but it's a very fun game. I'm just saying I think it's quite overhyped by the general public. Now, the graphics, they leave me with mixed feelings about them. I'd give them an 8 out of 10. But don't get me wrong, the FMVs were incredible, even by today's standards. But I just hated the polygon structure they used for the other stuff. I heard the reason they did that was because they began development on this for the Nintendo 64, but then went to Sony instead for the PlayStation for the memory capacity, which, well, that's where I went too. Back then it was like, well, where Squaresoft goes, I'll follow. I would have gladly taken Final Fantasy VI graphics with a little sharper quality. I mean, on a CD, you better have sharper quality. Now, the controls were a little weird too sometimes, and it was hard to tell where you were on the map if you were too small, or they made your sprite too small there sometimes. I mean, it didn't ruin the game, far from it, I'm just saying, you know. Now, easily the game's strong point is the music. I'd give it a 9 out of 10. So many memorable tracks and incredible quality like we've never heard before. They could actually put real instruments and vocals into the music, which we could never do on a Super Nintendo, or at least not nearly as much as they do on a CD. And they still kept the music feeling like video game music, you know? I mean, that's one thing I don't like about where video games are going nowadays. They're trying to turn them into art and movies, and it just doesn't seem like I'm playing a game anymore. It's like I'm watching a movie, and I mean, that's not why I play video games. Still, Final Fantasy VII, I mean, it manages to give me goosebumps every time with the music. I also like the depth and character development they gave us in this game. I'd give it an 8 out of 10. My biggest problem was how slow the second quarter of the game was. I mean, I think they could have just done without it. The game was quite a bit too long, in my opinion. And, I mean, for the most part, Sephiroth was nowhere to be found. I mean, what happened? I mean, in all the Super Nintendo Final Fantasies, the villains were constantly harassing us, oftentimes by themselves, instead of constantly sending their minions after us. I wish they did more with Sephiroth during the game, not just in the flashbacks and stuff. I don't know, that's just me. And the part I liked the least, although I still liked it, were the gameplay mechanics. I mean, I'm okay with how they simplified the equipment selection, because it just seemed it was like too simple to me, you know? I mean, having one piece of armor, you know, I mean, that was kind of nice. You don't have to have like 5, 6, or some games like 10 pieces of armor to keep track of. You know, but, you know, it's just 99% of the time, you know, the strongest weapon was the best. There was really little, very little strategy required there, or for the majority of the game, really. I mean, it was just, you know, you could just hack and slash your way through. I mean, I just didn't really care for that a whole lot. That's why I didn't demonstrate a lot of the random battles. It was pretty boring there. But I like how they eliminated the need for grinding. That was good. Conversely, though, I'm not a fan of the materia system. It's just too complex for my taste. I mean, it can take like 10 minutes to figure out how you want to arrange your materia for a certain boss fight. I just want to get up and go. Leave the strategy for the random battles. You know, not in the preparation or the setup or anything like that. So overall, I'd give Final Fantasy VII an 8 out of 10. It's a great game, certainly worthy of being considered in the top 10. I just think that it's really overhyped, that's all. So that said, I still had a lot of fun making this Let's Play series. Frankly, I'm surprised at how much fun I had and how creative I was able to get it sometimes. I just, you know, I thought a game this large would take away from my creativity, but, you know, it actually added to it. It gave me more to poke fun at it and stuff, you know? But yeah, I mean, I'm just surprised that, you know, the more and more I make these LPs, the more fun I end up having with them. I mean, even with, you know, Chrono Trigger, I thought I was going to have such a hard time outdoing that, because that's one of my favorites of all time. But I think, you know, even by my own standards, I felt that I think I did a pretty good job of that. Personally, I mean, yeah, I mean, I was just saying, you know, it's a little too long. I mean, I'd prefer to stick to games under 100 episodes, you know, but, yeah, I've got some other PlayStation games in mind. mind for the future. I'd like to do Chrono Cross someday, and certainly Final Fantasy IX. Well, I'll do Final Fantasy VIII just because, but yeah, it's still a good game. I like Final Fantasy VIII. Got the typical Final Fantasy theme going on here. Awesome, nice remix. I like how they did the music for the ending there, where they did like sort of a medley sort of thing. I mean, I suppose they've been doing that for a while now, but I especially like how they did it here. Thanks a lot, guys, for making a great game. Man, that's a lot of credits. Oh, there we go. We're almost at the end here. Sorry, I just ran out of script there. I didn't think these credits would be going on for so long. That's okay, it's a big game, it deserves the credits. Okay, well, oh, not so fast. We're not done yet. I wish they did a little more with the ending where, you know, they show more of the consequences of what happens in the game, you know, what happened after the game. Like they did in the ending to Final Fantasy IV, you know, that, or Final Fantasy V, you know. That was kind of cool how they did that. Oh, it's a whole bunch of reds. Oh, that is red. Hey, he's gotten pretty big. How did he procreate, though? I thought he was the only one left. Well, maybe the planet decided to help him out. Or maybe his species is asexual. I don't know. Huh, I guess Midgar was overrun by the planet. Didn't like that, huh? Well, that's all for my Let's Play series of Final Fantasy VII! I hope you've enjoyed it, viewers. Thanks a lot for your support. What's with all those children laughing? Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job here. Not too many casualties. We managed to ruin Shinra, stop Meteor, and defeat Sephiroth. Or did we?